Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the 9% Show. I am your host, Steven Burton. And here at the 9%, y'all know we keep everything 100. If I haven't done it, not doing it, or not about to do it, it will not come out my mouth. Today, since it is still Black History Month, we're going to talk about a little Black history. We're going to talk about a little Black history that I am creating in my own life, okay? We're going to talk about the challenges of being a Black business owner, okay? I will say this ain't a thing where, you can watch this video and be like, oh, he pulling the race card about X, Y, Z. It ain't about that. Okay, we talking about some real stuff, even some things that subconsciously is even like I had to get over myself in my head. And that at the end of the day, it's really messed up that a lot of Black business owners have to have these thoughts, have to think like this. And that, I've talked to other Black business owners, other Black founders, and we've all had similar, situations or similar thoughts. And so I thought about this episode and I was just like, you know what? Let me put together 5 things that like me and my Black journey, I guess I can't stop being Black. So maybe my journey as an entrepreneur being Black has been for me. And that's what we're going to talk about. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to talk about some stuff, and I hope that you really get a lot from this episode. And I hope that people, maybe that's non-Black, will, have a different, view on, Black entrepreneurship, Black business, and why it's important to support Black business, for everybody to support Black business, because it's really we don't all start from the same starting blocks in life, and that's what I realized, and that's the uncomfortable truth with this thing. And so we go dive into these 5 points, and but before we do, like we always do around this time on the 9%, we go take a toast to the 9%. Those that have aspirations being the 9%, you know what I'm saying, we toasting to you as well. All right. And yes, let's dive into this thing, okay? So the number one thing I'm going to talk about is being the face of the company as a black man. I had a hard time with this with Perfect Tux, and it's very sad, and it just sucks that I had to even have these feelings to begin with. And it was more so a thing of like, at the end of the day, like, if people know I own the business, will they mess with me? Will other races mess with me? Will they take me serious? Will they shop with me? And the truth of the matter, I had those thoughts. And I've asked other founders about this before, and they shared similar, thoughts. And it just sucks. And I will say this is one of those things, and this is me growing up. I'm growing up in LA. We real liberal out here, and we democratic, and so it's not like I was in some, challenging, I'm in the South somewhere, other traditionally, non-friendly area to Black folks. I'm pretty in a solid space. But even with all that being said, for a long time, I hid who I was on like the about page of Perfect Tux. I said my name, but like if you go to Perfect Tux now, click the about page, my face is there. I'm proudly in your face. Like, I own this, I run this. But for a long time, I just thought that people wouldn't take me serious or take the business serious or think that it's small potatoes. Like, it's not a big company. It's not Men's Warehouse. It's not this large company. I don't know why I did. I don't know why I was like conditioned to think like that, or thinking I'm less of, or whatever the case may be. But it took some years, and for honestly other races to tell me, no, share your story. Be out front. I want to know about your story. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Like, it took other people to say, oh, I want to know about you. I want to know about you. For me to be like, oh, okay, I'm going to put myself out there. But like I said, for a long time, I just thought that it would have some type of negative impact. Or if I can only imagine if I had a physical store somewhere, maybe I saw, a bakery or something. I don't know what it is, but somebody walks in there, oh, can I speak to the owner or the manager or who will do it? And you walk in like, oh, that's me, or whatever the case may be. Like, it's just a weird thing. And like, I can't really describe it too in detail about this, but it is just something about being perceived a certain way. And you don't want it to affect your business. You don't want somebody to not shop with you because of some misconception or whatever the case may be. So it was a real challenging thing for me. How I got over it, honestly, it sounds kind of messed up to say this, but one of the things was like success got me over it. Like realizing I'm having sales and people do know who I am. And once, we start having, I just felt like it wasn't gonna, like the stuff I was thinking about wasn't warranted. Like it wasn't driving nothing. And then like the other part of it, I've already mentioned, like when other people start wanting to know more of my story. And this is when I joined the Business Accelerator program. And I shared the story. There was actually another Black founder in there that shared a similar, thought process. But it was just really refreshing to know that it was okay to be the face of the company, or that I built this, and be in the forefront there. So, my advice to, Black business owners, if you're feeling like that, like, just know it's within our head. Like it's within our head, whether our upbringing and maybe certain situations, maybe experiences that we had that wasn't so great, maybe things we saw that wasn't so great. And we were just like, we really want to think like, oh, that could happen to me. Like, breakthrough. Be proud of who you are. Be proud of your culture. Be proud of your race, and just be proud of it and go for it. Because I think at the end of the day, the quality of your product, the quality of your service, what you're offering to the world, that's what matters. And I had to really realize that, and and I'm glad I have. So like I said, if you go with Perfect Tux now, I am there. Number two thing we're gonna talk about is the misconceptions of being a Black-owned business in the Black community. Okay, now I'm flipping you around here. The first one was talking about some other folks think about us. I'm talking to all the Black folks here. Okay, there are so many times, even before I started my business, that I always hear the classic cliche stuff of shopping at a Black-owned business. Oh, they got attitude. Oh, they late. Oh, their prices is too high. Oh, the quality of it, all this stuff that, man, I just opened up yesterday. Don't come in here with your misconceptions and everything you already think about this other business. You're not doing it for all the white business over there. Just because you had a bad experience at Macy's, you're not going into Nordstrom's saying, oh, they all the same. They about to be XYZ. No, you give them a fresh slate and let them, be what it is. But there's so many times within the Black community that we have this thing of like Black-owned business, how you're going to be treated, and they put it on this pedestal of like you can't even have a bad day, or you can't even have there could be nothing wrong about the experience. And granted, we as business owners, we strive to give great service and great everything all the time. At least you should too. At least the people that's doing a good job at their business. But there's been so many times where I've seen it where, let's say you've had bad service. You know what? I'm going to break it down like this. I had a bad experience with a Black bookkeeper. My first or accountant, actually. My first accountant that I hired, I just started a business. I was trying to really support Black other people, employ other Black people. So I thought, you know what? Let me get a Black accountant. And the lady did a horrible job. Okay, a horrible job. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. Cost me money, cost me time, cost me all type of stuff. But at no point was that experience gonna lead me to, if I ever came across another Black accountant, would I use that experience that I had for this person here and say, oh man, you can't trust no Black-owned people, man. I gotta get me a white person, gotta get me an Asian to do my numbers, or whatever the case may be. All these stereotypes of people that could do it better. You know what I'm saying? We as Black people put this stuff on each other. Treat your bad experience, if you had a bad experience, as just that particular thing. Don't judge other Black-owned businesses based on your 1, 2, 3, 4 experiences. It doesn't matter. There are so many Black-owned businesses out there that do a great job. Okay, and sometimes, if the price is higher. Let's think about that. Oh, well, you know what? We all can't compete with Walmart. There's white businesses too that hate when Walmart come to town, okay? They have prices. I can't compete with Amazon. I don't offer free shipping. I offer free shipping. Don't get it twisted. I can't offer free returns. Just because Amazon does it, is it because I'm a black business? Oh, black business, he doesn't want to offer free returns. Like, no. It's because it costs money. I don't have venture back capital. I don't have millions of dollars here. Like, I just can't eat the cost to have sales. So you have to understand that a lot of times, sometimes the cost of what a black owned business or a smaller business or mom and pop shop is paying wholesale for something could be more, because maybe this company over here can buy 500 pieces and get it for half the price because they're buying in a larger bulk order. And then this person over here can only buy 50 pieces. You know what I'm saying? So there's things you gotta, this whole, like, you know, I only ask that you treat every individually black business on its own merits. Let them rock how they rock. Let them give you great service. If they give you bad service, okay. Let them give you bad. They gave you bad service, complain about it, yelp about it, write a bad review. But don't let that be the thing that you post on your social media and say, you know how black businesses go. You know how whoop-de-whoop. Because you are not helping the cause. You are not helping us get anywhere. And you know what you are doing? You're letting other people that never shopped at a black-owned business have these misconceptions too. You may be letting other people that are different races have these misconceptions too, because maybe the first thing that I said about here is about being the face of a company is because I have this misconception in my own community and that other people are seeing that black owned business owners are giving bad experiences. So then you wonder why I might be scared to be the face of a company. Put these things together. It all matters. Okay. So please, let's stop with all the misconceptions of black owned businesses, okay? Especially within our own community, okay? Stop doing it, all right? Number three. For me, it was really tough being okay, being proudly black outwardly, okay? For me, I had an e-commerce business, and it took a while for me to understand my niche, understand my market and my target audience. It did take a while for that. But, you know, my network, I'm black, my family's black, my wife is black, my kids are black, my friends are black, majority of them are. I mean, I got all type of friends, but, you know, my core people is black. So when it was time for photo shoots, matter of fact, my first few years, I was the model. Okay. I was the model of my photos. What am I? I'm black. Okay. Maybe by the time I had somebody else, hey friend, come shoot something for me. They happen to be black. So when I'm putting all this stuff on my website, I was like, you know what? There's a lot of black folks on here. Like, oh goodness. Like, I hope they don't, you know, but why should I have that feeling? Why should I have that feeling? I should be proudly like, you know what? We black here. We black owned. We proud to have black models. Like, or other people, or other websites, or other companies say, oh my gosh, we got a little bit too many white folks here. Oh my goodness. We all sprinkle in the black. We got to find a token. Are they saying that? Maybe in 2024, maybe they are saying that because diversity is in nowadays. But I gotta believe that they're not sweating themselves like I was sweating my own self. Like I was saying, you know what? Like, oh my gosh, this is too much. It wasn't until, again, success came, sales came, and then I started seeing who was purchasing for me, and I started understanding who my target audience was. I mentioned it in previous episodes that I didn't find my target audience until like after the fact, but that was a good problem to have. But like, I finally realized this was my target audience. It's okay to have a niche. It's okay. You don't have to be everything to everyone. Okay. Be proudly of who you are and be true to what you are and be true to who you're marketing towards. Okay. It was a big thing with why I launched Perfect Tux that diversity was nowhere to be found. Like it was a lot of white models and white kids rocking suits. And I'm like, okay, well, black kids buy suits too, and black people want to see what the tuxedo looks like on them and their skin tone and things like that. So being okay to say, you know what, this is my mission, this is what we're doing, and I'm okay doing that. Okay. Like I said, for my own. own experience, it just took being, like I said, for my own experience, it just took being, like I said, for my own experience, it just took being, like I said, for my own experience, it just took being, like I said, for my own experience, it just took being, like I said, for my own experience, it just took being, like I said, for my own experience, it just took being, like I said, for my own experience, it just took being, like I said, for my own experience, it just took being, like I said, for my own experience, it just took being, like I said, for my own experience, it just took being, like I said, for my own experience, it just took being, like I said, for my own experience, it just took being, like I said, for my own experience, it just took being, like I said, for my own experience, it just took being, like I said, for my own experience, it just took being, like I said, for my own experience, it just took being, like I said, for my own experience, it just took being, like I said, for my own experience, it just took being, like I said, for my o being okay with doubling down. And it's funny, I'll tell a story. There was one mentor of mine that I met with one time, and I was talking about Perfect Tux. The Perfect Tux you see today is not what it was. We had a before website, and it was a whole lot different than what you see right now if you go to perfecttux.com. But I remember I met with him, and he was, I wanted to talk to him about the success I've been having, and I didn't know what type of, if I wanted to go the investor route to scale the business. And I'm just like, man, I'm on to something that's great. And he was like, man, tell me more. If you had to pitch your business to somebody, what it would sound like. And I was all over the place. I was like, oh yeah, we do this, we sell this, and we also sell this, and we target this person, but we do a lot of, fashionable stuff, but we also sell plain suits too. We sell the people that, if they don't like patterns and colors and, all this stuff, we do this. And I was just all over the place. He looked at me and he was like, I swear, after this meeting, it all clicked for me. But he was like, you know what? You all over the place. You created a product in a marketplace where Black people and multicultural people can come to get that swag for their formal events, and they come to you and you know how to target them point blank, period. And I was like, oh my gosh. I do know how to do that. That is my audience. I'm like, and he's just talking to me and breaking this thing down. And he was like, man, he's like, you need to double down on your doing. Like, forget all this other stuff you're talking about. Double down on what you're doing. He was like, man, your website need to be so Black. A white person get on your website and feel uncomfortable. And I was like, but he said that to me, and I was just like, oh my gosh. And because he was like, everything you're saying right now, who your niche is, who your target audience is, go to your website right now. What do I see? And I went to my website, perfecttux.com, went to it on my phone. I'm talking to him. And the first banner on my page is this, just cheesy white person, just not even wearing no swag, not wearing no patterns, just wearing a basic suit, basic tux. That's not even our target audience. And I looked at it, I'm like, this don't match who we are. This don't match who my audience is. This don't match like my niche. This don't match anything. And I'm like, ever since that day, what you see on Perfect Tux right now is the results of that. But I'm proudly Black owned and proud to show Black models and Black boys and Black people wearing suits and all that formal wear. It just took me a while to get there, but I am now there. All right. So we gonna go to number 4. And this is a big thing in business lending and funding. So, I mean, we've all heard the stories that, Black folks have been gotten the short end of the stick, from an economical standpoint for a long time. And there is no denying that. I ain't trying to hear what nobody got to say. That is fact. But that is not what I want to talk about specifically. I don't really want to talk about the history of banking in America and things like that. I can only be true to me. I could lie to y'all and be like, oh, they ain't want to mess with no Black folks, this and the third. But I think deep diving, I am someone that has had loans from major banks. I've had lines of credits that is very hard to obtain from Chase. They say one of the toughest banks to get a line of credit at, let alone a business line of credit. I've achieved these things. And what I see the biggest problem is being a Black business owner is not necessarily someone denying you because you're Black. It's that we don't necessarily have the education to know what these banks are looking for before we apply. For example, credit scores and things like that. How many of us didn't learn about credit until we messed up our credit, and then now we're adults and we gotta, try to get it together. Or knowing, that it takes 2 years of tax return off the rip. If you go into a bank and you got a business idea and you just got a thinking of like, well, where am I gonna get money? Well, there's a bank. I could walk in there, apply for a loan. They say I could apply for it. You apply for it. Maybe your credit is an 800 credit score. And you apply for it. And you have your business plan there. And you're like, this is what I want. I want to open up this coffee shop, and it's going to be amazing. And all this stuff is. And my credit score is great and everything is great. And they denied me. Like what? But did you know it? You need at least 2 years of tax return? Like before you put that application in, maybe you need to sit down with the banker and say, hey, what do I need to do to increase my chances of getting approved for this loan? Then they tell you, oh, we need this, we need this, we need that. And then you're like, okay, I see what's up. I see what I need. When I got approved for my line of credit through Chase, it was done online. Like my initial approval. No one even saw my face. But it was like also knowing the importance of keeping records. A lot of us black folks, we don't want to pay merchant fees and credit card fees. So we like, oh, pay us via Zelle, pay us via Venmo, you know what I'm saying? And then we report to our taxes. I ain't trying to pay no taxes. You could have made 100,000 that year, but you're saying, nah, man, I only made 10,000. I ain't make no money. But did you know when you go to a bank, that bottom line number is what they base it on? If your numbers say you didn't make a profit, or your numbers say you don't make enough of a profit to pay your business expenses and then pay back my loan, I'm going to loan you this money. Like, we need to know that our books matter, how your profit and loss matters, how your balance sheet matters, all this stuff. And again, it's not a situation of like you're being denied because you're black, but you don't know what you don't know. And I think that's more of the situation. If we're educated, and what we're trying to do here for the 9% is to educate, but if we're educated to know all these things so that when we do apply for these loans, when we do apply for this credit, we know what to do. I say it all the time. Don't apply for credit when you need it desperately. Why do I know that? Because I've been through it. I've seen it. I understand credit. I understand applications. I know what banks look for. So it's just about just having the knowledge and being prepared for funding, being prepared for lending. If you want, if you're dealing with investors, knowing what they want to know, like speak their speak, knowing what they want to see. So funding and capital and raising money is a hard thing and continues to be a hard thing in the black community. But I want us to get away from because I'm black, but it's because I lack some education within how do I obtain this funding. We ain't looking for no gains. We ain't looking for no shortcuts. We ain't looking for create LLC and then create this over here and then sneak it over here and sneak it over there and get this credit. No, we want to be able to walk in the bank and say, you know what? This is my business. Whoop-de-whoop. Here's my tax returns. Here's my this. Application, boom, boom, done. Okay, so that's that one. We are whipping through these things. Oh, all right. We on the last point. Point number 5. What I find the biggest challenge of being a black business owner it's hard to scale, and I can't put my finger, and it's not a necessarily situation where it's a one size fit all thing. And I put this after lending and funding for a particular reason, because I think that ties into why it's hard to scale and grow a black business. It's really, really hard. Did you know that only 2.4% of black owned businesses have paid employees, or not even employees, and a paid employee? One. If you don't have employees, you're not really growing. You're not really scaling. If you don't have a reason to hire an employee, you're not big enough to hire an employee. Or you possibly could use that help, but your business isn't generating enough to pay all your business expenses, pay yourself, and pay an employee. Maybe your business only made $50,000 and that's your $50,000 that you live on. Could you give that $50,000 to someone else and then make an additional $50,000 in your business? Like, could you do that? It is hard to scale. And a lot of times that scaling process takes capital. Matter of fact, most of the times it does. It takes additional capital. When you go to these banks, if we can't obtain the capital, how are we gonna use the capital to grow our business? How are we gonna scale? And so all this stuff ties together. All this stuff brings it back to the point of like, it is hard to grow a business. And sometimes even, I will say, depending on the industry type that we choose for majority of black businesses, like some of the industries that you choose or some of the businesses you start are hard to scale in general. Like, if you have a barbershop, no disrespect to the barbershops, and you as a barber or you as a stylist make good money and you're fine. But like, how big can it really scale to? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's a situation where like, okay, well maybe, and then two, you're not really having employees. You're also having, you know, maybe contractors, you know, you're doing, you know, they're renting the booth from you and things like that. So that's also a reason why it's, you know, some of this number might be a little skewed because you're creating an atmosphere for people to employ themselves, but they're technically not an employee. But a lot of the businesses we choose sometimes can be hard to scale in itself or unscalable, period. So there's a lot of things that goes into that, but that's where, you know, overall where it's hard to scale is kind of, you know, there's a point I wanted to say as a black business owner. But I am proud to say that I am also in that 2.4% because at Perfect Tux, we employ some black folks, okay? Or employees, period, but we also employ black folks, okay? So that's what it is. All right, y'all. We have come to the end, man. Please, 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 if this content is meaning anything to you, like, share, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We really appreciate it. Man, as we get to the end of this Black History Month, please continue to support black businesses. Please continue to not have no misconceptions of black businesses and just support, support, support. And for our black business owners, be proud of who you are, be proud to be black, and be proud of what you're doing. We ain't gonna have no imposter syndrome over here. We are proud of what we're doing and we marching forward, okay? We marching forward till we get to the 9%. And that's what it is. Until next time, I'll see y'all. Peace. Be blessed.